In this video, I am going to take you through every verified moment of their journey. From their first public interaction in 2012 to the birth of their two sons. From the Fashion Killer music video that had fans speculating for years to the cross-country road trip that changed everything. I am not here to spread rumors or make up stories. I am here to tell you exactly what happened, when it happened, and how two of the biggest names in entertainment built a love story for the ages. So grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let us get into the complete love story of Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. Before we can understand how these two came together, we need to understand where they came from, because their individual stories are just as remarkable as their love story. Robyn Rihanna Fenty was born on the 20th of February, 1988 in St. Michael, Barbados. She grew up in a modest home in Bridgetown, the capital city of this small Caribbean island. Her childhood was not easy. Her father, Ronald Fenty, struggled with addiction to crack cocaine and alcohol, which created significant tension in the household. Her parents eventually divorced when she was 14 years old. Despite these challenges, Rihanna found solace in music from a very young age. She would sing constantly, using music as an escape from the difficulties at home. She formed a musical trio with two of her classmates, and it was this group that would change her life forever. In 2003, when Rihanna was just 15 years old, music producer Evan Rogers was vacationing in Barbados with his wife. Through a mutual friend, Rogers was introduced to Rihanna and her group. The moment she sang for him, he knew he had discovered something special. Rogers invited Rihanna to the United States to record demo tapes. She traveled to Connecticut with her mother, and over the next year, they worked on songs that would eventually land on the desk of Jay-Z, who was then the president of Def Jam Recordings. The audition that followed has become legendary in music industry circles. Rihanna walked into a conference room in Manhattan and performed for Jay-Z and other Def Jam executives. According to multiple reports, Jay-Z was so impressed that he refused to let her leave the building without signing a contract. He reportedly said that he wanted to make sure no other label could get to her first. In 2005, at just 17 years old, Rihanna released her debut single, Pon de Replay. It was an instant hit, reaching #2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Her debut album, Music of the Sunday, followed shortly after and was certified gold, but it was her 2007 album, Good Girl Gone Bad, that transformed Rihanna from a successful artist into a global superstar. The album featured the smash hit Umbrella, which spent 7 consecutive weeks at #1 in the United States and 10 weeks at #1 in the United Kingdom. The song earned her first Grammy Award. From there, Rihanna became unstoppable. Album after album topped the charts. Hits like Disturbia, Only Girl in the World, We Found Love, and Diamond cemented her status as one of the best-selling music artists of all time. By the early 2010s, she had sold over 250 million records worldwide and had won 9 Grammy Awards. But Rihanna was never content with just being a musician. She had bigger ambitions. In 2017, she launched Fenty Beauty, a cosmetics line that revolutionized the industry by offering 40 different foundation shades to accommodate all skin tones. The brand generated $100 million in sales within its first few weeks. She followed this with Savage X Fenty, a line that celebrated body diversity and inclusion. By the time she reconnected with ASAP Rocky in 2020, Rihanna was not just a musician. She was a billionaire businesswoman, a fashion icon, and one of the most influential women in the world. Now, let us talk about the man who would capture her heart. Rakim Athelaston Mayers was born on the 3rd of October, 1988, in the Harlem neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City. Yes, that means he and Rihanna are the same age, both born in 1988, just a few months apart. Rocky, as he would come to be known, was named after Rakim, one half of the legendary hip-hop duo Eric B. and Rakim. His father was from Barbados, which is an interesting connection to Rihanna that many fans do not realize. His mother was African American. Rocky grew up in a tight-knit but struggling family. He has spoken in interviews about the poverty his family faced and the violence that surrounded his neighborhood. When Rocky was 12 years old, his older brother Ricky was killed in a shooting in Harlem. This tragedy deeply affected Rocky and his approach to life. Shortly after his brother passed, His father was arrested for selling drugs and was sent to prison. Rocky, his mother, and his sister were forced to move to a homeless shelter in the Bronx. These experiences shaped Rocky profoundly, giving him both the hunger to succeed and the perspective to appreciate his eventual success. Despite the hardships, Rocky was always drawn to fashion and music. He taught himself to rap when he was 8 years old and began writing his own lyrics as a teenager. But what set him apart from other aspiring rappers was his obsession with fashion and aesthetics. While other artists focused solely on their sound, Rocky was equally concerned with his image, his style, and the visual presentation of his art. In 2007, Rocky joined the ASAP Mob, a collective of rappers, producers, and fashion designers from Harlem. The name ASAP stands for Always Strive and Prosper. Within the group, each member takes on the ASAP prefix, hence ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, ASAP Nast, and others. Rocky began releasing music online in 2011, and his mixtape Live Love ASAP caught the attention of the music industry. His sound was different from traditional New York hip-hop. He drew influences from Southern rap, particularly Houston artists, and combined them with psychedelic and experimental elements. His visual aesthetic was equally innovative, incorporating high fashion and avant-garde imagery into his music videos. In 2011, ASAP Rocky signed a $3 million record deal with Sony, RCA Records, and Polo Ground's music, $1 million of that was specifically for his solo work, while $2 million was allocated to his ASAP Worldwide label. His debut studio album, Long Live ASAP, was released in 2013 and debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. The album featured the hit single Problems with Drake, 2 Chainz, and Kendrick Lamar, which reached #8 on the Hot 100. By the mid-2010s, ASAP Rocky had established himself not just as a rapper, but as a fashion icon. He sat front row at fashion weeks around the world. He was named one of the best dressed men by GQ multiple times. He collaborated with brands like Dior, Guess, and Under Armour. He even served as a creative director for various fashion campaigns. What made Rocky unique in the hip-hop world was his willingness to experiment with his style. He wore dresses on magazine covers. He rocked pearls and painted nails long before it became more mainstream in hip-hop. He challenged traditional notions of masculinity in a genre that often celebrated hyper-masculinity. By the time he and Rihanna became romantically linked, ASAP Rocky was one of the most respected artists in hip-hop, known for his musical innovation, his fashion sense, and his artistic integrity. Now that you understand who these two individuals were before they came together, let us talk about when their paths first publicly crossed. The year was 2012. Rihanna was at the height of her musical powers. Fresh off the success of her album Talk, ASAP Rocky was the hot new rapper on the scene, having just broken through in his mixtape success and recently signed major label deal. That year, Rocky was featured on a remix of Rihanna song Cockiness, which was subtitled Love It. The remix also featured ASAP Rocky delivering verses that added a new dimension to the track. The collaboration was significant because it paired one of pop music's biggest stars with one of hip-hop's most exciting new voices. On the 6th of September 2012, Rihanna and ASAP Rocky performed this collaboration live at the MTV Video Music Awards. The performance was electric. They had undeniable chemistry on stage, feeding off each other's energy in a way that immediately sparked speculation among fans and media during the performance. Rocky made physical contact with Rihanna in ways that seemed to go beyond typical stage choreography. He grabbed her in a manner that felt intimate, and she responded positively to his energy. The audience was captivated, and social media exploded with questions about whether there was something more between them. However, at this time, both were involved with other people. Rihanna had an on and off relationship history that was well documented in the press, and Rocky was linked to various women in the entertainment industry. So while fans speculated, there was no evidence of anything romantic between them at this point. What the 2012 VMAs performance did establish was a creative connection. It showed that Rihanna and Rocky worked well together, that they had compatible energies, and that they respected each other as artists. The following year brought one of the most analyzed moments in the Rihanna and Rocky timeline. The Fashion Killer music video, Fashion Killer was a track from Rocky's debut album. The song itself was a love letter to fashion and to a woman who shares that passion. The lyrics paint a picture of a relationship built on mutual appreciation for style, luxury, and aesthetics. For the music video, Rocky made a choice that would fuel fan speculation for nearly a decade. He cast Rihanna as his love interest. The video, released in 2013, features Rihanna and Rocky portraying a couple shopping for high-end fashion. They try on clothes together, model for each other, and share intimate moments that feel remarkably authentic. The chemistry between them is palpable. They laugh genuinely. They look at each other with what appears to be real affection. They move together with a comfort that suggests a genuine connection. Fans immediately began shipping them, which is internet slang for wanting them to be in a relationship. The video seemed less like a professional collaboration and more like a glimpse into what could be. However, both Rocky and Rihanna maintained at the time that they were simply friends. In interviews, they spoke highly of each other, but always in a platonic context. Rocky praised Rihanna as fashion sense and her fearlessness as an artist. Rihanna complimented Rocky's style and his work ethic. Also in 2013, ASAP Rocky served as an opening act for several dates on Rihanna's Diamonds World Tour. This meant they spent extended time together on the road, getting to know each other better. Tour life creates unique bonds because artists are away from home, sharing experiences that their non-famous friends cannot fully understand. This time together likely deepened their friendship. But again, there was no concrete evidence of romance. Both dated other people throughout this period. The Fashion Killer video remained just that. A video, a moment of on-screen chemistry that fans could analyze and theorize about, but nothing more. For the next several years, Rihanna and ASAP Rocky maintained their friendship, but kept it largely out of the public eye. They would occasionally be photographed together at fashion events, which was not unusual given their shared interest in the industry. In 2014, Rocky released his second studio album, At Long Last ASAP. The album debuted at #1 and further cemented his status as a leading figure in hip-hop. He continued his fashion collaborations and became known as someone who bridged the gap between music and high fashion. Rihanna, meanwhile, released her 8th studio album, Anti, in 2016. The album was a departure from her previous pop sound, incorporating more R&B, reggae, and experimental elements. It was critically acclaimed and commercially successful, featuring hits like Work with Drake and Needed Me. During this period, Rihanna was publicly linked to Drake. Their relationship, whether romantic or professional, was a constant source of media speculation. They collaborated on multiple songs and were frequently seen together, though neither ever fully confirmed a romantic relationship. Rihanna was also linked to other men during this time, most notably Saudi businessman Hassan Jamil, whom she reportedly began dating in 2017. Their relationship was relatively private, with few public appearances, but it was confirmed through various sources to be serious. ASAP Rocky also dated during this period. He was linked to model Chanel Iman from 2013 to 2014, and the two were reportedly engaged at one point before splitting. He was also connected to various other women in entertainment and fashion circles. Throughout all of this, Rihanna and Rocky remained friends. They were part of the same social circles, attending many of the same fashion events and running into each other regularly. But their relationship appeared to remain strictly platonic. One moment that fans often point to as a turning point was Paris Fashion Week in 2018. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky were both in attendance at the Louis show, and photographers captured them sitting together in the front row. The images from that day show them looking comfortable together, engaged in conversation, and clearly enjoying each other as company. While sitting front row together at a fashion show is not inherently romantic, fans noted the body language between them seemed particularly warm. Around this time, both Rihanna and Rocky began speaking more openly about each other in interviews. Rocky continued to praise Rihanna's style and her influence on fashion. Rihanna mentioned Rocky when discussing her favorite artists and creative minds. What we can say for certain is that by 2018, their friendship was well established. They had known each other for at least 6 years. They had collaborated professionally. They had spent time on tour together. They ran in the same fashion circles. A foundation had been built. even if neither of them realized at the time what that foundation would eventually support. December 2019 brought another significant public moment for Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. They both attended the Fashion Awards, formerly known as the British Fashion Awards. In London, photographers captured them posing together on the red carpet, looking stylish and comfortable with each other. At this point, Rihanna was still reportedly dating Hassan Jamil. Their relationship had been going strong for about 2 years. So while fans continued to wonder about her connection with Rocky, there was no indication that anything romantic was developing. However, something significant was happening behind the scenes. Rihanna was preparing to launch Fenty Skin, a skincare line to complement her massively successful Fenty Beauty brand, and she had chosen ASAP Rocky to be part of the campaign. This was a business decision that also served as a personal endorsement. By selecting Rocky for the Fenty Skin campaign, Rihanna was signaling that she trusted him, that she believed in his appeal to her audience, and that she wanted to associate her brand with his image. The campaign would not be released until 2020, but the groundwork was being laid in 2019. Rihanna and Rocky spent time together, filming content for the campaign, doing interviews, and creating promotional materials. This increased time together may have played a role in what happened next. In January 2020, news broke that Rihanna and Hassan Jamil had ended their relationship after approximately 3 years together. Sources close to the couple indicated that the split was amicable, but that their different lifestyles had made the relationship difficult to maintain. Rihanna was focused on her music, her businesses, and her philanthropic work. Jamil came from a wealthy Saudi family with different expectations and cultural norms. According to reports, they simply grew apart. This breakup freed Rihanna from her most serious relationship in years and opened the door for something new. And waiting on the other side of that door, whether intentionally or not, was ASAP Rocky. In July 2020, the Fenty Skin campaign featuring Rihanna and ASAP Rocky was officially released. The campaign included a video interview where the two asked each other questions about skincare, life, and their friendship. The interview was remarkable for several reasons. First, the chemistry between them was undeniable. They laughed constantly. They finished each other's sentences. They made inside jokes that suggested a deep familiarity. The comfort level between them was evident to everyone who watched. Second, the interview revealed how well they knew each other. Rocky knew details about Rihanna's skincare routine. Rihanna knew about Rocky grooming habits. These were not two celebrities doing a surface level promotional interview. These were two people who clearly spent significant time together. Third, the timing was significant. The interview was filmed during the COVID-19 pandemic, when much of the world was in lockdown. People were isolated, seeing only those closest to them. The fact that Rihanna and Rocky were together suggested they were spending quarantine time together. The interview set social media on fire. Fans, who had been shipping them since the Fashion Killer video, saw this as confirmation that something was happening. Outlets began running stories speculating about a potential romance, and then came the road trip. In the summer of 2020, while the world remained largely shut down due to the pandemic, ASAP Rocky and Rihanna embarked on a cross-country road trip from Los Angeles to New York City. Rocky later spoke about this trip in his landmark GQ interview. He described renting a tour bus and driving across America with Rihanna. He talked about stopping to look at rock formations and going to national parks. He mentioned grilling and cooking together. He called it an amazing experience. This trip is often cited as the moment their friendship transformed into something more. Away from the pressures of Hollywood and the music industry, isolated from the rest of the world by both geography and pandemic, they had time and space to discover if their connection went deeper than friendship. According to Rocky, it did. In that same GQ interview, he said the road trip allowed him to just see and learn her better, and then see myself better. Imagine the setting. Two global superstars, used to private jets and 5-star hotels, choosing to spend weeks together in a tour bus, driving through the heartland of America, cooking their own meals, watching sunsets over national parks, having long conversations without the interruptions of assistants, managers, and media. For two people who had known each other for 8 years but had never been romantically involved, This trip was a chance to explore a new dimension of their relationship. And by all accounts, that is exactly what they did. By late 2020, reports began emerging that Rihanna and ASAP Rocky were officially dating. They were spotted together more frequently, and sources close to both confirmed to multiple outlets that they were in a romantic relationship. Unlike their previous public appearances, which could be explained away as friendly or professional, the late 2020 sightings had a different energy. They were photographed holding hands. They were seen looking at each other in ways that went beyond friendship. They seemed like a couple. In November 2020, they were spotted having dinner together in New York City. May 2021 brought the moment fans had been waiting for. ASAP Rocky gave an interview to GQ magazine that would become one of the most discussed celebrity interviews of the year. In the interview, Rocky did something remarkable for a celebrity of his stature. He opened up completely about his relationship with Rihanna. He did not hedge. He did not use vague language. He made clear, definitive statements about his feelings and his commitment. When asked about Rihanna, Rocky called her my lady and the love of my life. He said that being in a relationship was so much better when you have got the one. When the interviewer asked him to elaborate on what he meant by the one, Rocky was clear. He said, "She amounts to probably like a million of the other ones," and added, "I think when you know she is the one." This was an unprecedented level of public declaration from Rocky. He had always been somewhat private about his personal life, especially his relationships. To speak so openly and passionately about Rihanna signaled that this was different from anything he had experienced before. Rocky also spoke about fatherhood in that interview, though he was careful about specific timelines and details. When asked if he was ready to be a father, he answered that if it was meant to be with Rihanna, then absolutely. He described wanting to raise open-minded children and said he would be an incredible, remarkably, overall amazing dad. The interview spread across every entertainment outlet. Social media exploded with people celebrating the confirmation of what they had suspected for nearly a decade. Rihanna and Rocky were not just dating. They were, according to Rocky himself, in the relationship of a lifetime. Throughout the rest of 2021, Rihanna and Rocky were photographed together repeatedly. Unlike some celebrity couples who try to avoid paparazzi, they seem relatively unbothered by being seen together. They went on dinner dates in New York and Los Angeles. They attended events together. They seemed like any other couple, just going about their lives, except they happened to be two of the most famous people on the planet. What fans noticed during this period was how relaxed they seemed. They were not performing for cameras. They were not staging photo opportunities. They were simply spending time together, and they seemed genuinely happy. Friends of both spoke to various outlets, always anonymously, about the relationship. The consensus was that Rihanna and Rocky were the real deal. They made each other laugh. They supported each other. Careers, they had fun together. After years of friendship, they had found something deeper. On the 31st of January, 2022, the internet collectively lost its mind. Photographs emerged of Rihanna and ASAP Rocky walking through the streets of Harlem, Rocky home neighborhood, in the snow. And in those photographs, Rihanna's baby bump was clearly visible. She wore a long pink vintage Chanel coat, unbuttoned to reveal her growing belly adorned with a gold cross and body jewelry. Rocky held her hand as they walked through the wintry New York streets. The images were stunning, romantic, and historic. This was not an announcement made through a publicist or a magazine exclusive. This was Rihanna and Rocky walking through his childhood neighborhood, showing the world that they were expecting a child together. The choice of Harlem was significant and intentional, connecting their new family to Rocky roots. The photos were taken by photographer Miles Diggs and quickly became some of the most shared celebrity images of the year. The entertainment world was buzzing about the baby that would be born to two of its biggest stars. In interviews following the announcement, Rihanna spoke about pregnancy and motherhood. She told Vogue that the couple had not planned the pregnancy, but that they were excited about it. She discussed how Rocky had been supportive and present throughout her pregnancy. Rihanna used her pregnancy as an opportunity to challenge conventions about maternity fashion. Instead of hiding her bump in loose, modest clothing, she celebrated it. She wore crop tops, sheer fabrics, low-rise pants, and elaborate jewelry that drew attention to her belly. Her maternity style became a cultural moment. Fashion commentators wrote extensively about how she was redefining what pregnant women could wear. She appeared at events looking glamorous and unapologetically pregnant. She posed for magazine covers showing off her bump. Throughout this period, Rocky was by her side. They attended fashion events together. They went to dinners together. They were photographed on the streets of New York and Los Angeles, looking happy and in love. Friends reported that Rocky was deeply involved in the pregnancy, attending appointments and preparing for fatherhood. Despite his reputation as a party-loving artist, he seemed fully committed to this new chapter of his life. In April 2022, just weeks before Rihanna was expected to give birth, the couple faced an unexpected challenge. ASAP Rocky was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport in connection with a shooting that allegedly occurred in November 2021. According to reports, Rocky was accused of firing a handgun at a former friend during an argument in Hollywood. He was taken into custody after returning to the United States from a vacation with Rihanna in Barbados. Rocky was released on bail and pleaded not guilty to the charges. The case would continue through the legal system over the following months and years, but it did not appear to affect his relationship with Rihanna. Throughout the legal proceedings, Rihanna stood by Rocky. She attended his court appearances. She spoke supportively about him in interviews. Whatever challenges the case presented, they faced them together. In the weeks following the birth, Rihanna and Rocky remained relatively private. They did not immediately share photos of the baby or do interviews about parenthood. They seemed determined to protect their son from the media attention that would inevitably follow him as the child of two superstar parents. When they did begin to speak about parenthood, both Rihanna and Rocky described it as transformative. Rocky called it the best thing and said that fatherhood had changed his priorities and perspective on life. In September 2022, it was announced that Rihanna would headline the Super Bowl halftime show. This was major news for multiple reasons. Rihanna had not released new music since her 2016 album, Anti. She had famously turned down a Super Bowl halftime show in 2019 in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick. Her decision to perform in 2023 signaled a significant return to music. The Super Bowl took place on the 12th of February, 2023 in Glendale, Arizona. Rihanna took the stage suspended on a platform high above the field, beginning her performance in the sky before descending to a larger stage. She performed a medley of her greatest hits, including Better Have My Money, Where Have You Been, Only Girl in the World, We Found Love, Rude Boy, Work, Wild Thoughts, Pour It Up, All of the Lights, Run This Town, Umbrella, and Diamonds. It was a career-spanning showcase of her impact on popular music, but the performance revealed something else. As Rihanna danced and sang, viewers noticed she seemed to be cradling her stomach at certain moments. The red jumpsuit she wore did not hide her shape. Speculation immediately began about whether she was pregnant again. The speculation was confirmed almost immediately. Representatives for Rihanna announced that she was indeed pregnant with her second child. She had performed the Super Bowl halftime show while in her second trimester. Rocky was in attendance at the Super Bowl, supporting Rihanna from the stands. When cameras found him, he was cheering enthusiastically for his partner, clearly proud of what she had accomplished. Following the Super Bowl announcement, Rihanna once again embraced pregnancy fashion. She continued to wear bold, revealing outfits that celebrated her bump. She attended fashion events. She was photographed with Rocky on dinner dates. The couple seemed just as happy during the second pregnancy as they had during the first. Friends reported that Rocky was even more hands-on this time, having learned from the experience of being a first-time father. Throughout the spring and summer of 2023, Rihanna and Rocky made various public appearances. They attended the Met Gala together again, this time with Rihanna visibly pregnant. They were spotted at fashion weeks in Paris and New York. They continued to live their lives publicly while also maintaining boundaries around their son, Arza. On the 1st of August, 2023, Rihanna gave birth to their second child. Another son, the couple named him Riot Rose Mayers. Like their first son name, this one was unique and meaningful. The name Riot suggests rebellion and disruption. qualities that both parents have embodied in their careers. Rose is a softer, more traditional name that balances the intensity of Riot. Together, the name captures the duality that both Rihanna and Rocky represent, rebels who are also artists, disruptors who create beauty. With the birth of Riot Rose, Rihanna and Rocky family was complete. Parents of 2 sons, building a life together after more than a decade of friendship and nearly 3 years of confirmed romantic relationship. Since the birth of their second son, Rihanna and ASAP Rocky have focused on family life while continuing their individual careers. They have been photographed together numerous times, often with their children in strollers or being carried by their parents. What strikes observers is how normal they seem. Yes, they are billionaire superstars who wear designer clothes and attend exclusive events, but they also seem like devoted parents who are genuinely present in their children's lives. Paparazzi photos show Rocky pushing a stroller. They show Rihanna carrying one of her sons. They show the family going about everyday activities, just with significantly more cameras following them. Rihanna has said that her children are her first priority and that everything else, including music, comes second. Rocky has described fatherhood as grounding and has expressed gratitude for his family. Despite their focus on family, both Rihanna and Rocky have continued their careers. Rocky released his 4th studio album, Do Not Be Dumb, in August 2024 after several delays. The album featured collaborations with various artists and continued his tradition of genre-blending experimentation. He has also continued his fashion work, collaborating with various brands and maintaining his status as one of hip-hop best-dressed figures. Rihanna has continued to build her business empire. Fenty Beauty and Savage. Fenty continue to grow and expand. She has teased new music multiple times, keeping fans hopeful that her long-awaited 9th album might finally arrive. While she has not released a full album since 2016, she has contributed to soundtracks and made surprise appearances that remind the world of her musical talent. The couple has also faced rocky ongoing legal issues. The case stemming from the 2021 shooting allegation has continued through the court system. Rocky has maintained his innocence throughout, and Rihanna has remained supportive. Looking at the Rihanna and ASAP Rocky love story, several factors seem to contribute to its success. First, the foundation of friendship. They knew each other for approximately 8 years before they began dating. During that time, they learned who each other really was. Not the public persona, but the actual person. When they finally got together, there were no illusions or surprises. They had seen each other through relationships with other people, through career highs and lows, through personal challenges. That foundation of genuine knowing creates a stability that relationships built on initial attraction alone often lack. Second, shared values and interests. Both Rihanna and Rocky are deeply passionate about fashion. They both value creativity and artistic expression. They both came from humble beginnings and built empires through talent and hard work. They both understand the pressures of fame and the importance of authenticity. These shared values give them common ground and mutual understanding. Third, mutual respect for individual identity. Neither Rihanna nor Rocky has tried to change the other or diminish their individual success. They celebrate each other. They support each other. Rocky promotes Fenty products. Rihanna attends his shows and court appearances. They function as partners who enhance each other rather than competitors who threaten each other. Fourth, timing. Sometimes love is about timing as much as compatibility. When they first met in 2012, perhaps neither was ready for a serious relationship. They needed to grow individually, to experience other relationships, to build their careers. By 2020, when the pandemic forced everyone to slow down and reassess their priorities, they were finally ready to explore what they could be together. Fifth, privacy within publicity. Despite being two of the most famous people in the world, they have managed to maintain boundaries around their relationship. They do not overshare on social media. They do not do constant couples interviews. They let their actions speak rather than making public declarations. This approach protects their relationship from the pressure that constant public scrutiny can create. The relationship between Rihanna and ASAP Rocky has significance beyond their personal happiness. As a couple, they represent something meaningful in popular culture. They are two black artists at the top of their respective fields who chose each other. In an industry where interracial relationships are common, and sometimes seem expected for artists of their status. Rihanna and Rocky's union celebrates black love. This resonates with many fans who appreciate seeing successful black couples in the spotlight. They also represent a different kind of celebrity relationship. Unlike couples who seem manufactured for publicity or who constantly document their relationships on social media, Rihanna and Rocky seem genuinely private about their bond. They share what they want to share and protect the rest. In an age of oversharing, their approach feels refreshing. Their fashion choices as a couple have influenced trends. When they walk red carpets together, they create moments that are studied and discussed by fashion enthusiasts worldwide. Their willingness to take risks, to wear unconventional pieces, to coordinate without matching, has inspired countless fans and influenced other celebrities. As parents, they are modeling a particular approach to raising children in the spotlight. They have chosen to keep their sons largely out of public view, showing their faces only on their own terms. This suggests a commitment to giving their children as normal a childhood as possible, despite their extraordinary circumstances. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky continue to build their life together. They are managing multiple business ventures and creative projects. They are navigating the unique challenges that come with being one of the most famous couples in the world. Fans continue to wonder about several things. Will Rihanna finally release her long-awaited 9th album? Will she and Rocky collaborate musically in a more significant way? Will they get married, or do they even feel the need to formalize their union in that traditional way? These questions remain unanswered, and perhaps that is as it should be. Rihanna and Rocky have earned the right to reveal their plans on their own timeline, if they choose to reveal them at all. What we do know is that their love story continues. Every paparazzi photo of them walking together, every public appearance where they support each other, every interview where they speak warmly about their partner adds another chapter to a story that began over a decade ago. As we near the end of this journey through Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's relationship, it is worth reflecting on what their story can teach us about love. Lesson 1, friendship can be the best foundation for romance. Rihanna and Rocky did not rush into a relationship. They spent years getting to know each other as friends first. When they finally got together, that friendship gave them a solid base to build upon. Lesson 2, timing matters. Even if two people are compatible, they might not be ready for each other at a particular moment. Rocky and Rihanna met in 2012, but did not become romantic until 2020. Those 8 years were not wasted. They were years of individual growth that prepared both for the relationship they would eventually have. Lesson 3, neither Rihanna nor Rocky seems threatened by the other achievements. They celebrate each other, they promote each other, they show up for each other. This mutual support strengthens their bond. Lesson 4, protect what matters. Despite their fame, they have maintained boundaries around their relationship and their children. They understand that not everything needs to be public. Some things are more precious when they are kept private. Lesson 5, choose joy. In photographs and videos, Rihanna and Rocky almost always seem to be having fun together. They laugh, they joke, they seem to genuinely enjoy each other's company. Choosing a partner who brings you joy is perhaps the most important choice of all. And there you have it, everyone, the complete love story of Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. From that electric performance at the 2012 VMAs to building a family together in 2024, we have covered every major milestone, every confirmed fact, and every beautiful moment of their journey. What started as a professional collaboration between two young artists turned into a decade-long friendship. That friendship, built on mutual respect, shared passions, and genuine connection, eventually blossomed into one of the most celebrated relationships in entertainment history. They took their time. They did not rush. They let their bond develop naturally, even as fans speculated and hoped. And when they were finally ready, they came together in a way that has inspired millions of people around the world today. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky are not just a famous couple. They are business partners in the sense that they support each other, empires. They are creative collaborators who push each other to take risks. They are, by all accounts, deeply in love. Their story reminds us that love does not always happen on our timeline. Sometimes the right person is there all along, waiting until both of you are ready. Sometimes friendship is the slow-burning fire that eventually becomes an unshakable flame. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Rihanna and Rocky love story, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you are not already subscribed to Extra Hot Topic, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is your favorite moment in Rihanna and Rocky relationship? Was it the fashion killer video, the GQ interview, the Harlem pregnancy announcement, the Super Bowl reveal? Let me know down below. And if there is another celebrity love story you want me to cover in this format, drop that in the comments too. I am always looking for ideas for future videos. Until next time, this has been Extra Hot Topic. Stay curious, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.